You know, a lot of people think it's cool to shit on WWE. A lot of people think it's cool. A lot of people think I shit on WWE because it's the in thing to do. It's cool. JD shits on WWE because it's all a gimmick. JD shits on WWE because it gets the views. Or it gets the thumbs up and the retention in the comments are at an all-time high when he shits on WWE. How many people are legitimately watching WWE? Ratings are dwindling week by week. People care less and less about what's going on weekly television. I know people personally that have stated that they're not watching anymore. They're intentionally missing these shows week by week. When once upon a time, they'd rush home from work just so that they don't miss any of the shows on Monday and Tuesday. Now I have people legitimately telling me that they're spending extra hours at work to get overtime, that they tune in for 5 to 10 minutes to see what's going on and nothing changes, it's the same shit. I've had people legitimately tell me that when All Elite Wrestling starts up in October, that they will not be watching weekly WWE television anymore because there really will not be a need to. They want to be entertained. They want to be fulfilled. And WWE is not doing that right now. You see, what I do here is not a gimmick. What I do here is something that I genuinely feel. I don't do it to be cool. I don't do it to get likes and thumbs up and views. These shows legitimately are complete fucking garbage. They are atrocities of epic proportions. Abysmal. I don't know who thinks this is a good wrestling show. I don't know who tries to find the positive in anything that's going on. These shows just aren't doing it anymore. And I don't know who in WWE thinks this is going to be good enough when All Elite Wrestling shows up on TNT in the fall. I don't know. I don't know. In that same token, I don't know who in WWE thinks it's a good idea to remain quiet and not approach Vince McMahon and try and usher in some change. I don't know who is going to continue to allow Vince McMahon to do what he's doing to ruin these shows. I don't know how there hasn't been an uprising in WWE with WWE management stepping in and legitimately telling Vince McMahon that what he is doing is not working. It is completely ruining these shows. I think the one thing that broke my spirit last night, it was the one thing that broke the proverbial camel's back, the last straw, was that Alexa Bliss, Carmela, and Charlotte Flair are in a triple threat match to determine who Bayley's number one contender is. Coincidentally, they're all blonde. I'd love to see a woman of a different ethnicity in there. I'd love to see a woman with somewhat of a different hair color in there. Is it that difficult to ask? Is it so much to ask? Is it so much to ask to put an Ember Moon or a Kairi Sane or an Asuka? I'd even take Liv Morgan in this instance. I'd even take fucking Liv Morgan in this situation. You got three women who have legitimately done nothing, challenging for the right to battle Bayley at Stomping Ground. Alexa Bliss has done nothing but drink coffee. Charlotte just had a title match in which she just lost the SmackDown Live Women's Championship after beating Becky Lynch at Money in the Bank. Lost it just as quickly to Bayley. And Carmela, who's done nothing but run around like a bunch of fucking idiots with everybody else, running away from fucking catering in hopes to preserve R-Truth's clown-like title reign for the 24/7 title. Yet in somebody's fucking sick and twisted mind, that is enough to warrant them as #1 contenders for Bayley's SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And the worst part is, the winner of the match wasn't even a SmackDown Live superstar. Alexa Bliss, who is a Raw superstar, wins the match, and we have a Raw superstar challenging Bayley, who is a SmackDown Live superstar and its champion, at a pay-per-view in 2 weeks. What is a brand split anymore? What is a brand split? There's no brand split. See, a brand split to me is Raw and SmackDown separate from one another. A brand split means that both shows have their own identity, their own roster, their own championships, their own wrestlers that are vying for said championships. A brand split is not a Raw superstar coming over to SmackDown Live in this fucking bullshit wildcard rule, taking an opportunity away from said SmackDown Live superstar. You see, the wildcard rule is exactly what I stated it was 5 weeks ago. This is nothing more than a cover-up for Vince McMahon to try and create good television, but in fact, it's actually working as an opposite. It's actually making the shows worse. Because we're seeing more Roman, we're seeing more Shane, we're seeing more Alexa, we're seeing more Charlotte, we're seeing more Becky. And everybody else that supposedly is supposed to be getting an opportunity is getting nothing. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks without TV time. Where are the War Raiders? Where are Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, who are your tag team champions? Where is Kairi Sane and Asuka? Where the fuck is Aleister Black? Finn Balor hasn't been on TV. He's your Intercontinental Champion. And he's got a fucking match on Friday night. Oh, JD, he was off selling his injuries. He was on SmackDown last night. Ember Moon, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mickie James, Naomi, Heavy Machinery, and every other fucking tag team that is not getting any time to shine on these shows. The wildcard rule has absolutely fucking disillusioned everybody on the roster. And then you want to know why people are waiting for their contracts to run out in hopes that they get signed to AEW or go to the indies where they can actually fucking wrestle. Because nowadays, signing with the WWE means you sit in catering for 4 years until WWE thinks maybe now it's your time, but yeah, not yet. No, we'll feature Shane McMahon on TV on both Monday and Tuesday and give him about an hour and a half of television to take away from everybody else because Roman Reigns. I thought doing this show on Wednesday would actually make me feel better. In fact, I don't. I actually feel worse. I don't even want to talk about this shit. I don't. These shows are fucking horrendous. And WWE, I swear to God, the one thing I pray for watching these shows every single week is the fact that there's a fucking uprising and somebody collectively gets everybody banded together to go to Vince McMahon and fucking get him out of power. I don't know what else to say anymore. I am legitimately breaking down to a point where I don't even want to work anymore. In fact, if I did not have this podcast, I would not watch any, and I swear on my grandfather's fucking soul, I would not watch any of these shows any week. Monday or Tuesday. I'd simply watch NXT, and that is it. I'd simply watch TakeOver, and that is it. Because you're not missing anything if you miss these shows. You're not. I legitimately have people telling me, you know, I used to come home early and rush home to watch these shows. No longer. People are legitimately telling me that they're taking overtime. People legitimately are staying at work a little bit longer. Each and every Monday and Tuesday. When it used to be the opposite. They rushed home so that they didn't miss any second of these shows. People legitimately telling me that when All Elite Wrestling starts up on Tuesday or Wednesdays in the fall on TNT, that they're not going to watch WWE programming anymore because, like I said, they want to be fulfilled. They want to be fulfilled. You're not getting fulfilled by watching WWE television. You're actually dying a slow, painful, miserable death. Something that I genuinely hope Vince McMahon suffers imminently. Because this guy is absolutely out of his fucking mind to think that these are quality shows that are going to be looked upon and praised by everybody in the community. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to try my best. I am going to try my best to sit here and try and open your eyes on yet another fucking missed week of WWE programming. And if I don't, then I don't want you watching me anymore. I really don't. I hope that you learned something here today, because what I learned is that the wild card rule and everything that is the wild card rule is making SmackDown nothing more than Monday Night Raw light. It's an extension of Monday Night Raw on Tuesday night, and I don't know in which fucking universe that's a good thing. This is your SmackDown Live review for Tuesday. We're going to go over everything in just a second. Thank you guys for joining me. I apologize for not coming on here Tuesday night, but as you can see after last night's show, I don't think any of you blame me. I don't think any of you blame me. Plus, I didn't feel well, and I wasn't feeling well all week. So, there you go. Situations beyond my control, and then we get SmackDown Live as the cherry on top of the shit Sunday, and it causes JD to miss SmackDown Live on Tuesday night. Here we are on Wednesday morning. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is both Twitter and Instagram, by the way, you fucking clowns. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, it's completely optional, and it's the only way to get exclusive content not available on the YouTube. Make sure you guys go check out all the other videos that you might have missed this week. Off the Script was on fire all weekend. We talked about Jon Moxley, and then Brock Lesnar, and Stephanie McMahon just going on social media, causing a shitstorm of illogical booking. And we ranted on that on both Friday and Saturday, so make sure you guys go and check that out. The Bait and Switch Saudi edition with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. Friday, folks, he's cashing in on Friday. Yet he beats Seth Rollins to a bloody pulp and says, nah, I'll cash in on Friday. Meanwhile, he had the championship won, but WWE's got to sell the sweet Saudi Super Showdown. Awesome. Takeover. No matter how good Takeover was, it wasn't enough to wash the fucking garbage out of our mouth from WWE main roster. So if you guys want to check out all that stuff, it's live on the channel right now. Please do so. Link is in the top right corner of the screen. Drop that I down. Everything you need is right there. Podcast is brought to you by Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Audible's giving you guys 30 days free of their service, and that includes one free audiobook of your choice. Use our unique link. Go through the sign-up process. You will not be billed, and you're going to get 30 days free of their service. As a thank you for signing up, Audible's going to give you one free audiobook of your choice. And here's the best part. If you guys feel like Audible's not for you, you guys can cancel any time in the 30 days. It could be day 3. It could be day 9. It could be day 29. You guys can cancel at any time, and Audible will allow you to keep your audiobook for free no matter what. audibletrial.com, compatible with your iPhone and Android devices. Support Off the Script using Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. SmackDown Live, Monday Night Raw, whatever. Monday Night Raw Light started off with Kofi, Kingston, and Dolph Ziggler. Now, where you might be looking at this as some sort of positive to open the show, because this bled into what else is new? A tag team match. A fucking tag team match, because WWE doesn't know how to open their shows any other way. Tag team match. I'm going to shit on this, folks, and my anger and my directness, my bluntness, is not really aimed towards Kofi Kingston or Dolph Ziggler. It's more with WWE's execution. Now, let me get this out of the way. It's great that Kofi got to go back home. It's great that Kofi was idolized as a hero and all of his hard work is appreciated. He gets to see relatives and family members that he has not seen in legitimately years. But the simple fact of the matter is, we're still on this Kofi Kingston is WWE Champion gravy train. Why? Why? This is WWE. Pretty much, and the way it comes off to me, and I don't mean this as a knock to Kofi, but the way it comes off, it's as if WWE is just pushing a certain agenda for the sake of pushing an agenda. I don't really find this to be something that we need to see now. Because this is something that should have been done weeks ago. This is something that legitimately should have been done coming out of WrestleMania when Kofi Kingston won, for the first time, the WWE Championship. This is something that would have made a lot more sense a week or two following WrestleMania. And here we are still on the Kofi Kingston fucking gravy train. Oh, he's a great WWE Champion. Look at Kofi. I don't know how I could get behind that. It's actually infuriating to watch. It's like WWE is doing everything backwards. But it's great to see Kofi and him amongst his family and being recognized for all his hard work and talents. That's great. It's just the simple fact that I think this should have been done weeks. 1 or 2 weeks following WrestleMania. Not now, a month and a half later. Now, as far as Kofi and Dolph Ziggler, I don't know who legitimately is, excited about Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler. I think we all are kind of under the impression that Dolph Ziggler was merely brought back as, well, there's nobody else for Kofi. Why not Dolph? Let's pay Dolph a cool $1 million to fly over to Saudi Arabia, wrestle Kofi for 20 minutes, and have Dolph Ziggler be another notch on Kofi Kingston's belt. I think we're all under the impression that this is exactly why they brought in Dolph Ziggler, because there really wasn't anybody else. And we all should know that by now. But the way that they're going about it, I don't know who the fuck is interested in this bullshit that WWE is trying to portray on television. Dolph, it should have been me. It should have been me. And Kofi trying to talk to Dolph Ziggler through video packages. This is what we have boiled it down to. Kofi and Dolph Ziggler now on the fucking go-home show for a worthless pay-per-view that is a WrestleMania equivalent. They're telling their story now through fucking video packages. Cue up the package! Dolph, how about this? Instead of verbally sparring back and forth like the old days, like a championship fucking feud needs, they're queuing up fucking video packages as if they're on a fucking game show. Or a talk show. It's like they're on fucking Maury Povich. What a terrible way to execute things. I don't know who's watching this last night and not questioning WWE's execution. If you wanted to really paint this as genuine, coming from Dolph Ziggler, why are you going to go out there and have Kofi Kingston talk about, him going to Ghana, and then Dolph Ziggler come out and express, it should have been me! And then cue up a fucking video package, and then as a rebuttal, Kofi Kingston views up a video package, or cues up rather, a video package, Dolph Ziggler cues up another video package, and then walks off. How is that genuine? How is that genuine? How are you watching that and not questioning, well, if that's the case, it sounds like and looks like that Kofi and Dolph Ziggler kind of knew what was coming already in the promo? Like they knew how everything was laid out. It just reeked of scripted. Kofi standing there queuing up a video package for Dolph Ziggler. How the fuck did Dolph Ziggler know to queue up a fucking video package to show exactly what he wanted to show? Same thing could be said about Kofi Kingston. How the fuck did he know in that moment to queue up? Or how did Kevin Dunn know to queue up and have that shit ready for Kofi to show on the big screen? And you're not questioning any of this. You're not questioning the genuine nature of this. You're not questioning the execution and the legitimacy of all this. When WWE wants you to believe in a storyline, they do this. And everything that Dolph has done and said, and everything that Kofi has done and said in this particular storyline for Friday, goes right out the window. It's as if they already knew what was coming and they were one step ahead of each other. How is that building a legitimate storyline for the WWE Championship? The only thing in this entire instance that I liked was Kofi Kingston queued up a clip on the Titantron for Dolph Ziggler. And it dated back to December 29th, 2017, where he relinquished the United States Championship on SmackDown Live because he wasn't feeling appreciated. WWE never really gave us a reason why Dolph Ziggler did that. They tried to. It was half-assed. Nobody believed it. But still to this day, back from December 29th, 2017, we still don't have an exact reason as to why he gave up. And don't tell me it's not because of any other reason. You know, don't tell me because it's WWE trying to tell everybody that Dolph Ziggler didn't feel appreciated. He's the fucking United States champion. He should feel appreciated. We still don't have a resolution to that. So the only thing I liked here is the fact that Kofi Kingston said, well, let's watch this clip. And he said, you, Dolph, every time you have had the opportunity to make it about you, you walk away because it doesn't go exactly how you want it. That's the difference between me and you. Kofi said the difference between me and you, no matter how bleak things looked, I never quit on myself. Or I never quit the WWE, or I never quit for my brothers. You walked out because nothing ever went your way. It should have been you, it could have been you, but being that things never went your way, you walked out and quit like the quitter you are. That's the only thing that I really liked about this, because it plays into the fact that Dolph Ziggler really is what he is portraying himself to be. It should have been me, it should have been me, it should have been me, a crybaby. But Kofi Kingston is really relaying the fact that, yeah, it could have been you and it should be you, but you walked away because things weren't going your way, instead of working hard for it and hopefully having everything pay off in the end. But the simple fact that this was fucking programmed and queued up through video packages as if they knew what to fucking throw up on the Titantron before anything was even uttered out of their mouth was fucking just terrible execution. Ridiculous. I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a great match, but why do I fucking care? Why should I care about this? This took up a half an hour. It's another point I want to make here. A half an hour of WWE television on a 2-hour show. Between this and the tag team match, a half an hour, and it didn't need to go that long. If you wanted to relay everything about this match for Friday, all we needed to do was watch the video packages. The video packages was actually better than what they said in the ring. Half an hour of TV wasted, and a half an hour of TV taken from people who legitimately could use the TV time more so than Kofi Kingston or Dolph Ziggler. Terrible fucking execution. So, we get all this in the open, and then this bleeds into a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods tag team match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. There's that good old wild card again. Sami Zayn back on SmackDown Live, just floating around doing nothing. Nothing of importance. We got nothing for him. I will team him with Kevin Owens. There you go. WWE showing you that they got no plans for any of these guys, and they revert right back to the thing that nobody really gives a shit about. Anyway, this match went 11 minutes. Owens and Sami tagged in and out, grounding Xavier towards the end of this thing. Xavier got the hot tag on Kofi. He worked on Sami. He landed a boom drop. Then, KO grabbed Kofi from ringside. Xavier tackled him. Kofi then hit Sami with a Trouble in Paradise. And the New Day beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. After the win, we see Ziggler attacking Kofi, celebrating. He super kicks both Kofi and Xavier Woods, and that was it. That's pretty much it. So we got Dolph. It should have been me! And then he comes in and does exactly what he's been doing for the last 3 weeks. Super kicking Kofi Kingston out of nowhere. Explain to me why I should care when I know why Dolph Ziggler's coming back, why I know he's not winning the title, and why WWE failed in execution with their promos and their segment to open the show, why I should care about anything that's happening on Friday. I don't. You couldn't be any more disingenuous than you were right there in the open of SmackDown Live. I just don't give a shit. Moving on. Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and The Revival. Apparently we got more additions to this unofficial stable, this unofficial authority. Good to see The Revival mixing it in with the fucking McMahons. I guess that's a great way to keep them here on SmackDown Live, or keep them in WWE, I should say. Shane McMahon said where he says everybody thinks he brutalized Reigns to soften him up on Friday, the attack on Monday he's talking about. They showed more clips of the beatdown on Raw, more clips on top of clips on top of clips. The open was nothing more than clips. Shane says that some of what he did on Monday was amazing athleticism on his part. He said, Reigns, you're wrong when you told me that I didn't stand a chance with you in the ring on Friday. He said, whatever Reigns can do, he can do better because he is the best in the world. So Shane McMahon, folks, got more segments on this show than literally everybody who's been off TV combined for the entire year. Just imagine that. Kairi Sane and Asuka coming out of WrestleMania. I'll go back to WrestleMania. Kairi Sane and Asuka have been on TV less in all the combined weeks coming out from WrestleMania till now compared to Shane McMahon. Imagine that. Just by tonight and Monday alone, Shane has more TV time than Kairi Sane and Asuka. It's fucking terrible. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous that is even a statistic. I don't get it. So, we move on from that to Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is on SmackDown Live because of the wildcard rule. She called Raw the Superior A show. Man, maybe somebody spiked her coffee several times over. You cannot be of a sober mind to say that Raw is still the A show. She has Bayley. Bayley is on a moment of piss. Bayley comes out. Bliss has coffee in her hand. She takes a sip. She's like, no. My assistant, come on. She holds the cup of coffee out. Cup of coffee out, and some goon is readily available with another one in the back. Comes out, brings another cup of coffee. She sips it. She's like, this will do. Put this in my other mug. So legitimately, we have an interview here with the women's champion, and Alexa Bliss is making this all about, is her coffee light or sweet? Is it on the bold side? Is it on the light side? Okay, it's finally to my liking. Please put it in my mug. Please. This is about putting coffee in a coffee mug and nothing more. So at this point, I'm completely over this bullshit already. It's just playing into the fact that Alexa Bliss absolutely is one talentless individual on the WWE roster. Bayley started saying that this started all before Money in the Bank. It's been a long road to get here. Bliss said she's not here to argue, but she's just saying that she had a good night at Money in the Bank. Bayley again said she worked hard for a long time to make that night work. Bliss then said she cashed in cashed in on Nia Jax, and it was a spectacular night. So, you know, she's just going over and being very selfish about her own accolades and kind of leaving Bayley out of it. So Bliss ran down her resume as SmackDown Women's Champion. She said when she was champion, it meant something. Again, somebody must have spiked her fucking coffee, man. The title has never been more worthless than it was around the waist of Alexa Bliss. I'm just saying. Cold, hard facts, people. Cold, hard facts. If you think that woman did anything with the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, you are absolutely delusional. Do you think the title really means something around your waist? She says to Bayley. Bayley says she's trying to bait her in, but a lot has changed since then. Or since they last saw each other. Yeah, a lot has changed. This is your life, Bayley, remember? Bayley says she's looking for new challenges. Bliss interrupted and says she sure has a new coffee coming out. Out comes a new coffee finally. Where's my coffee? Where's my coffee? She's like, okay, this is good. Put it in my mug. Put it in the mug I got in the locker room. So Bayley takes the coffee and slaps the coffee out of her hand. And when the cup, I don't know if you guys watch this. I am very attentive to these things. Just like when Alexa Bliss last night on Raw, she actually got knocked over. What's her name? Billie Kay. What's her name? Irrelevant. Billie Kay knocked the coffee out of her hand on Raw. Coffee all over the ground. Alexa Bliss conveniently moved herself into one of the larger puddles of coffee to make sure that her white pants were stained with the coffee because she was out of position or she was kicked out of position. I don't know if you guys realize that. I failed to mention that in the Monday Night Raw review. In this case, Bayley knocked the cup out of Alexa's hand. They went flying back to the apron by Gorilla, and no coffee came out. There was no coffee that was spilled on them. When you knock a cup of coffee out of somebody's hand like that, at least you're going to have some fucking remnants of coffee all over you, all over the stage. There was nothing. It's as if the guy brought out an empty cup of coffee. Does Alexa Bliss even drink coffee? Maybe Alexa Bliss has been exposed for using coffee as a way to get her failed gimmick over, and she doesn't like coffee at all, which would be quite disheartening because I'm a coffee guy myself, and how dare you disrespect coffee like that? Seriously. No coffee came out. So that was that. And Bliss stood up and asked, are you kidding me? Is this really the kind of champion you want to be? Bliss says she deserves the title more than her. Carmela comes out, which is fucking cringe. We're in the middle of an argument here, and Carmela comes out with her theme music playing. She's dancing on the fucking stage, moonwalking. Ridiculous. I mean, who does that? Legitimately, who does that, and why does anybody think that looks good in that moment? You got an argument over the fucking Women's Championship. You're going to come out, and you're going to dance your way to the stage. And you think with the coffee that would have been spilled on the stage, well, if Carmella's dancing on the fucking coffee, man, that's fucking talented without slipping on it. So Carmela comes out. Can't have a conversation about being Miss Money in the Bank without me. Carmela said she should have had a chance at the title next. Why? I don't know why. You've done nothing but hide a fucking quote-unquote criminal, 24/7 champion, running away from the fucking fugitives of VIP catering. But you deserve a title shot. Awesome. Maybe you're playing WWE 2K19. I don't know where the fuck you think you deserve a championship. If it wasn't bad that Carmella was out there, out comes Charlotte. Out comes Charlotte because every time anybody utters the word championship, Charlotte has to show her face. Now, Charlotte says she couldn't help herself, really. Is the fact that Charlotte couldn't help herself or the fact that WWE management can't help themselves because they want to break this record fucking quick. They want to get Charlotte to 16 reigns before the end of the year. Charlotte couldn't help herself. She said she just talked to her good friend, Shane McMahon. And there will be a match tonight to decide whom Bayley will face at Stomping Ground. Because Carmella and Alexa Bliss deserve a championship match, right? She's like, it's going to be Carmella, Alexa Bliss, and me. Wait for it. Wait for it. And me. Because we're giving championship opportunities out to blondes and no more. This was fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. The fact that they're all blonde is not by coincidence. The fact that they're blonde has 100% to do with why they're getting a championship match. The fact that Carmela changed her hair color from red to blonde, back to blonde, should tell you enough of this entire situation. The more you're blonde, the more you get pushed. Why are any of these women getting championship matches? Or a shot at the championship? Why is Alexa Bliss on SmackDown, being a Raw superstar, getting a championship match? This is what I don't understand. Carmela, it's self-explanatory why she doesn't deserve a championship match. She couldn't even beat fucking Mandy Rose. Charlotte, she just lost the fucking title at Money in the Bank in 45 seconds to Bayley. Why are you there? If that doesn't go to show you the only reason why she's there is the simple fact that she's Charlotte fucking Flair, I don't know what to tell you. No sense whatsoever. So R-Truth and Carmela are backstage. He was hiding. He says that he has a huge opportunity, or she has a huge opportunity, rather, for the Women's Championship. He doesn't want Carmela to concern herself with him. Truth says he has to defend this title 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on holidays. He says he's been waiting for Shane to call him back. Carmela's phone rang, and she picks it up, and it's Shane. And R-Truth says, I've been using your phone this entire time, Shane. I've been waiting for him to get back to me. Shane has not returned my calls. I DM'd him, I texted him, I called him. So R-Truth has been using Carmela's phone this entire time. Carmela answered. It was indeed Shane. She handed the phone to Truth. Truth asked who it was. Ha 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 ha. He said, the title is ruining his life. They had a nice talk, which led to Shane telling Truth he has to have a proper title match tonight, and that will be against Elias. So we're having a proper 24/7 championship match in the ring tonight on SmackDown Live. If WWE put as much focus on their other championships like they did the 24/7 title, a lot of the other titles would be better off for it. It's just new, and it's new WWE toy to them. So I don't know. I didn't really expect anything to happen here as far as a 24/7 championship match, but we're getting one legit in the ring. And WWE makes this a lumberjack match. I hate lumberjack matches. They look terrible. This was not even a lumberjack match. R-Truth got thrown out to the lumberjacks. They beat him up for a little bit, and they threw Truth back in the ring. Elias gave Truth a big jumping knee, and the match was over. This is filling your TV time on SmackDown Live, folks. Just imagine how Ember Moon and Kairi Sane and the War Raiders and Asuka and the Raw Tag Team Champions and Daniel Bryan and Heavy Machinery feel. Championship match lasting 30 seconds on SmackDown Live. Elias realized the match was over and there were no 24/7 rules during the match. As soon as the bell rung and he won the match, the rules were reinstated. So they attacked him in the ring. So sad to see Robert Roode and Matt Hardy and Cedric Alexander in there with a bunch of these fucking jobbers. But they all were beating each other up. Elias snuck out of the ring, crawled to ringside, and ran underneath the ring. So Truth was out there. He followed him underneath the ring. Referee followed them underneath the ring. The bell rang out of nowhere. Truth came out with the 24/7 title, and apparently he pinned Elias underneath the ring to reclaim the 24/7 title. I don't know what you want me to say about this. I really don't. The fact that this is taking time up or taking time away from everybody else on TV is fucking pathetic. If they kept this to YouTube, to Instagram, to Twitter, I think I would be a little bit more accepting of the fact that we have a 24/7 championship. I can't really agree that this is on my TV. I can't really agree with this taking time away from everybody else because it's not making the shows better. It really is not. You're injecting joke into serious segments. You're injecting comedy and what should be looked at as a lighthearted situation into some serious storylines or into some serious segments. I don't like that. I really don't like that. And for the people who want to brag, oh, it's just like the hardcore title. No, it was. No, it's not. And it will never be. The hardcore title was never this meaningless. You had big names go after the hardcore title. Everybody that went after the hardcore title was legitimately over in their era. Everybody that's vying for the 24/7 championship is disgruntled employees of WWE that have been finding themselves in catering more and more and more each and every single week, who have no role on WWE television. So why the fuck should I care about any of these guys? This should not be on television. If WWE wanted to create some sort of internet championship, then allow this to be your internet championship. It gets those guys on social media. It allows them to kind of build their own stories for said championship and get out there and be a little bit more, I guess, in the spotlight to everybody on social media. WWE's got such big social media platforms. Why is this not being used on that platform instead of ruining the actual fucking television shows, when the television shows should be looked at as a more serious presentation of WWE? I can't get behind this. I can't get behind this. This was awful. Completely awful. And the fact that Elias is meddling in this bullshit just further proves the fact that he is a loser. He's a complete loser. Hour 2. Shane is in the ring. Shane has another segment on SmackDown Live, folks. How many segments has Andrade had tonight? Shane entered the ring. He insisted on a proper introduction. Greg Hamilton does the whole spiel. Shane thanked the Revival for doing a great job on Monday. We've seen another video package of what happened on Monday night. He commented on the clips of him beating up Roman Reigns and spearing him. He said what he did last night was like training a male dog. He said he's doing what you have to do with a new male dog. You have to show him who's boss. He said he is the boss literally and figuratively around here. He said sometimes there's a dog that's more high-spirited like Roman. What do you do with a dog like that, he asked. He said you have to take it to another level. He said he'll do this Friday at Super Showdown when he snips and neuters the big dog so he lays at the heels of the best in the world. Can you get any more scripted than this fucking bull? Who the fuck talks like this? Are you fucking kidding me? Reigns comes out, the Revival run up the stage. They run at him like fucking crash test dummies. They don't even try and attack him. Dash Wilder did, but Scott Dawson looked like a complete fucking buffoon. Reigns knocked them down with Superman punches. Shane is in the ring, gloating Reigns to come into the ring. Reigns walks down to the ring and literally out of nowhere, blindsided by Drew McIntyre, Claymore kick, and that was it. Drew held Reigns in the ring. Shane showboated, danced around, and delivered what has to be one of the worst-looking spears of all time. I don't know if it was Reigns taking the fall bad or Shane McMahon not knowing how to execute a proper spear. Either way, it looked fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. So that was that. Fans chanted, "You suck," and he's dancing around doing hoo-wah, hoo-wah in the ring. Yet Vince McMahon thinks this is good television for SmackDown Live. Folks, this show is absolutely... After 1 hour, I guarantee none of you watched the rest of this show. Maybe you tuned in for Goldberg. Maybe you tuned in to the last 5 minutes to see that. But after seeing this, how can anyone make themselves suffer any longer with this shit? Fucking terrible. Shane McMahon has reached a limit of overexposure on these shows. I don't know why Shane McMahon has more segments than everybody else on these shows. I don't know who the fuck is interested in this shit. Unless you're 6 years old and don't know any better, I don't know who is excited about their match at Super Showdown. So what Reigns and WWE have done is tell me, okay, I could miss Reigns' match at Super Showdown. I could miss Reigns' match at Stomping Ground because he's going to be going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. And every segment that Roman Reigns has on TV from this point on until this shit is over is absolutely mute-worthy or change the channel worthy on WWE television. Fucking terrible. We go from one bad situation to another. Carmela, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss. This one went 8 minutes. This was fucking awful. I don't know how anybody could say the women's division in WWE post Ronda Rousey is thriving. Nothing makes sense. Again, Carmela, what has she done for a championship opportunity? Charlotte Flair, she's only there because she's Charlotte Flair. Every time WWE needs a championship opportunity, Charlotte will be there. Can we get some storyline continuity here where the women have to fucking fight for the right to be champion? Or fight for the right to be number one contender? Is it that difficult? And then you got Alexa Bliss, who is a Monday Night Raw superstar, winning the match and becoming number one contender for a SmackDown Live Championship while being a Raw superstar. What is a brand split anymore? What is a brand split anymore? Why should I care? Why was this done? This was done because they need to justify the wild card rule being unpredictable. They know the wild card rule is ruining these fucking shows, and this was done because they want to justify it as being, oh, look, it's predictable. You never know what's going to happen with the wild card rule. It's living up to its name. Now we got a Raw superstar challenge for a SmackDown title, and nothing makes sense. Why even have separate rosters? Why have separate rosters? I thought Alexa Bliss was supposed to be out with a concussion. I heard nothing more than, oh, Alexa Bliss is out with concussion symptoms. Oh, WWE is being overly cautious with Alexa Bliss. And here she is doing Twisted Bliss off the fucking top rope. Doing Code Reds. Doing what I thought to be a tilt-a-whirl Hurricane Rana, which she botched terribly. Concussion symptoms. WWE being cautious with Alexa Bliss. Really now? Were they really being cautious? Was she really out with the concussion? I don't think so. I'm going to go back to what I stated previously, and that she had more work done, and she was not able to wrestle until said work was healed. Give me a fucking break. And WWE going back to the Alexa Bliss and Bayley situation like that worked the fucking first time? Bayley, of all fucking people. Ember Moon. I'd even take a Liv Morgan, like I said, Mickie James, Asuka, Kairi Sane. Of all the fucking women you have on this roster, you're going to give me Alexa Bliss, the one woman who can't fucking tell a wristwatch from a wrist lock. You're going to have that woman wrestle for the Women's Championship? She's blonde, folks. I would not put it past WWE to have Alexa Bliss take the title to Monday Night Raw and just make sheer chaos of everything and make everything else fucking useless on top of it already being useless as we see it. This was terrible. This match was terrible. The way we got here was terrible. It's as if they're not even trying anymore. Why? I want to know why. I want to know how you determine these women to be number one contender for the fucking Women's Championship. How? How? I want to know why a Raw superstar is challenging a SmackDown superstar for their title. But brand split. I can do all the complaining I want, nothing will fucking change. Alexa Bliss wins in 8 minutes. Charlotte's match against Lacey Evans was fucking horrendous. At least she looked a little bit better here on SmackDown Live than she did on Monday. But I still don't agree with what WWE did to get here, and I don't agree with what WWE did as far as choosing a winner here to challenge Bayley at Stomping Ground. So as far as I'm concerned, Stomping Ground is already off to a miserable start with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, and now Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the Women's Championship. Kayla stood in the ring, and this was where I shook my head. I was looking forward to this, and I shook my head after this was over. And at the end of the night, I think everybody is in agreement that scripted promos need to die. Scripted promos need to die. Believe me, I watch NXT every single week. I never miss a week of NXT. I remember when Lars Sullivan was on NXT. He never sounded scripted. They gave him a microphone. He said what he needed to say. He played up to the fact that he was a freak and a monster. And he didn't go out there, do you know or like nursery rhymes, Kayla? You can actually physically dissect Lars's promo here on SmackDown Live. This exclusive interview with Lars Sullivan, you could easily dissect the fucking parts that Vince McMahon put in there for Lars Sullivan to recite. It is fucking painful to listen to somebody when they have to recite the lines of someone who genuinely doesn't get the character. This was fucking god awful. And I have high hopes for Lars Sullivan. That is absolutely fading as quick as you could say your own name. This was terrible. Lars is in the ring with Kayla. She asked him what drives him to do the things that he does. This was absolutely cringe-inducing. I felt my teeth just grind. I wasn't even grinding my teeth, man, but I really wanted to fucking grind them at this point. I wanted to fucking just scream. He says, would you ever ask a nightingale why they swing their sweet song? Who speaks like that? This is a monster who weighs 350 fucking pounds. And you're gonna have his first words live in front of an audience be, would you ever ask a nightingale why they sing their sweet song? I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Or why a lion methodically stalks their prey before sinking their teeth into the flesh and viciously ripping it apart. Who talks like that? Legitimately, who fucking talks like that? And why would you ask what drives a man like me? She tried to answer the question with a question, but he pulled back the microphone and said he realizes that he is no regular man. He said his entire life has been described by one word. Do you know what that word is, Kayla? This is a Vince McMahon thing, folks. He knows what Lars Sullivan did. He knows of Lars Sullivan's past. And he intentionally scripted Lars Sullivan to have an open-ended fucking question like that, which I know for a fact everybody was thinking on the same wavelength. As soon as that sentence was over, I know exactly what everybody was thinking. He said, I've been described by one word all my life. Do you know what that word is, Kayla? How many of you thought of the word racist? How many of you thought of the words bigot? I know I did. And I came out on social media defending Lars Sullivan, knowing that what he did was wrong in the past, but he was rightfully fined. If you even want to say that, fine. We don't know if it's legitimate or not, but WWE made a public press release that he was fined $100,000. A man over time could get better and change. Some of you might not agree with that. Some of you, are with me on that. We all make mistakes in life. Lars made a huge mistake here. It bit him in the ass, and now he's got to pay the consequences. But why would you script a line like that that is so open-ended, which everybody I know on social media is going to have a field day with when they hear this back, when they replay it, But they tried to get the word freak out there by using this open-ended fucking sentence and this open-ended question, which everybody already is affiliating the word bigot and racist to Lars Sullivan. That didn't do him any favors whatsoever. At all. Say the word, he says. She looked intimidated here, and she said freak. Lars took some deep breaths and said, when a lion performs its primary function, people call it a lion. When I perform my primary function, people use that particular word. My primary function is to hurt, maim, dissect, vivisect, and dehumanize people. He paced and then said his primary function is to show the fans the world isn't full of rainbows and sunshine, but rather real-life freaks of nature like him. Kayla asked if that's what he hopes to teach the Lucha House Party at Super Showdown. Lars laughed and says to Kayla, do you like nursery rhymes? Here we are with the fucking nursery rhymes again. 3 blind mice. Watch how they run. Watch how they're caught. Watch how their tails are ripped apart with my bare hands and the beautiful portrait that is painted with their bodily fluids. So we can't say blood anymore on WWE television. Awesome. Who uses bodily fluids when you are trying to paint the portrait of beating somebody to a bloody pulp? I am going to beat you to an inch of your life, and I'm going to make you excrete bodily fluids. Who the fuck talks like that? Lars Sullivan was done no favors with this promo. This was fucking awful. He left, he walked away, he was very satisfied with himself, and that was it. That was it. I don't know what WWE is trying to do here, but it clearly is continuing to draw attention to all of the shit that he said on the message boards with that one open-ended line. That's all you did here. That is all anybody is going to fucking pinpoint here in this promo. This promo was meant to get him over. And all you did was paint a picture of recalling what he said on those message boards over 10 years ago. So what did it really accomplish? What did it really accomplish? I know that when I watched him in NXT, he didn't sound like this. He sounded way too scripted, and you don't need to script a guy like Lars Sullivan. You don't. Because the guy had decent mic skills, very passable mic skills in NXT, and here we got Vince McMahon writing him a fucking promo that absolutely made him less interesting than he already was in the eyes of the fans. I'm going to say it right now, folks. I really didn't want to say it, but Lars Sullivan is a main roster failure. I had hopes for him. I hope that WWE would have been able to book him correctly, and they've absolutely dropped the ball on Lars Sullivan, and it's not even his fault. Yes, the shit that he said 10 years ago, I understand why everybody's upset, but the simple fact is WWE has portrayed this guy on television as nothing more than a guy coming out interruption after interruption after interruption. We haven't seen a legit match from him yet, and the first words out of his mouth are fucking nonsensical garbage. He's asking Kayla if he likes nursery rhymes, if she likes nursery rhymes, and you bring up the fact that he made all these mistakes years ago by leaving an open-ended fucking sentence for fans to shit on. Shame on you, WWE. You ruined yet another NXT talent that had promise of something pretty decent on the main roster. Apollo Cruz was out here. I didn't even know he was still a part of the fucking roster. Apollo was ready to face Andrade. Andrade attacked him before the bell, gave him a hammerlock DDT. Man, Apollo must love his work. Yeah, I'm on SmackDown Live tonight, guys. Who am I fighting? Andrade. All right, man. One of the best guys on the roster. One of the best wrestlers in the world. Bell doesn't even ring. He gets a hammerlock DDT for just showing up. Out comes Finn Balor. I wasn't even sure if this guy was still employed, let alone the Intercontinental Champion. Landed a double stomp and then a barrage of offense in the corner, followed by sling blades. Zelina grabbed Balor's leg. Andrade seized this distraction and attacked Balor and gave him the hammerlock DDT. And we got the Demon coming back on Friday. For no reason. No reason. The Demon's coming back. The Demon's coming back on Friday against Andrade in an Intercontinental Championship match, which, A, is not warranted. We don't know why he's coming back. And it makes the match all that predictable because we know the Demon's not losing. So, fuck you to Andrade on Friday. Should be a great match nonetheless, and probably the only thing on that show that I'm actually taking an interest in. Goldberg made his entrance, and he did his usual spiel coming out of the locker room. He didn't break his fucking skull on the door and make himself bleed by banging his head on the locker room door the last time we fucking seen him. He was accompanied by security, walked to the stage. He shook a very young fan's hand, which was probably the best part of the entire fucking show because it was a very heartwarming moment. Goldberg seen this kid. He had to be like 4 years old. He had his arm leaning over the railing. He goes and shakes his hand. What a moment for that young kid, huh? Goldberg's in the ring. Goldberg chants ringing out in what was a dead crowd. Don't do this to me again. He's soaking up the chants. He thanked Laredo. He says he's been waiting his whole career for this opportunity to experience The Undertaker as his opponent. He says he wouldn't let the family man, happy version of Goldberg anywhere near The Undertaker. He says he's going to get the other Goldberg, and he will find out how he stacks up against him. You're going to get that ass-kicking Goldberg that you asked for. Friday night, once and for all, we find out who the better man is, because Undertaker, you're next to rest in peace. Pretty basic promo, expecting nothing more from Bill Goldberg. Taker came out, bell sounded, arena went dark. Taker showed up in the ring like I expected him to. He stood there face to face with Goldberg. Lights went out again, and then the lights came on, and he disappeared. So what WWE did here tonight, folks, is they gave you, and I mean this wholeheartedly, they gave away 75% of the match that you'll see on Friday. The most interesting aspect of this entire match was the stare down between The Undertaker and Goldberg after their ring entrances were made. The most interesting aspect of this match has already been done. Are you expecting a 20-minute Matt Classic? Are you expecting the likes of Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle here in Super Showdown? Spear, jackhammer, chokeslam, tombstone, if that, if it even gets past that point. Give me a break. 75% of this match that you'll see on Friday happened on Tuesday night. Why should I watch? The whole thing was them in the ring together. Bell rings. First time ever in the ring one-on-one. The stare down. The stare down. And you gave that away because you couldn't help yourself. Goldberg, all he had to do was come out there. All he had to do was come out there and tell The Undertaker, you're next to rest in peace. I would have been okay with that. Now, why am I going to get excited for one of the most important aspects of the match on Friday when you already did it on Tuesday? So the lights go on. He disappeared. Fans chanted, holy shit. Goldberg applauded, picked up the microphone, and said, that's it. That's it. Friday night it is then, big man. Bring your jock strap and tighten that sumbitch up tight because it's going to be a ride. That was it. That was it. So that's it, huh? I guess Goldberg has not seen an Undertaker promo in recent memory. Or I guess Goldberg has not watched The Undertaker throughout the span of his 30-year history. This is what The Undertaker does. The mind games, the darkness, the light shows up, disappears, the lightning. The fuck were you expecting? A game of fucking chess? No, The Undertaker showed up to fucking have a shot of Jack Daniels with you in the middle of the ring. Hey, Bill, how you doing? How's that new hot rod coming along? Fucking ridiculous. Goldberg and The Undertaker. Yeah, it should be a spectacle. It should be a spectacle. But I'm not excited about it because I know what to expect. And if we are to expect anything, it's no more than 5 minutes. But I do like the way that Bill Goldberg carried himself here. He was intense like Goldberg should be. He was very direct. He didn't back down from The Undertaker. And I know firsthand that Goldberg actually asked for this match for Super Showdown. They wanted him for Super Showdown. Goldberg asked for The Undertaker, and they gave him The Undertaker. It's a little inside scoop there. This is a match requested by Bill Goldberg. The Undertaker obliged, and here you go. Is it WrestleMania worthy? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Is it WrestleMania equivalent? This show on Friday? I don't think so. It's nothing more than a haphazardly booked show that's pieced together with fucking Elmer's glue and scotch tape that hopefully will represent a somewhat decent show. But in the end, I know it's going to be nothing more than a fucking glorified house show for 5 hours on my Friday afternoon as I waste away yet another day talking about mindless, nonsensical, illogical WWE booking. That's all that is. I'm getting the fuck out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for all your support. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. AudibleTrial.com/OffTheScript. And make sure you guys, this is Barbershop Window, guys. I haven't plugged them in a while. Barbershopwindow.com/OffTheScript. Use code BSHOP20 for 20% off if you guys want to support by buying a t-shirt. And, like I said, this week's videos, make sure you guys go and check everything that you might have missed that is on the channel right now. I am getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for all your support. Again, hit that thumbs up. Sorry I did not get this up earlier, but can you blame me? It's fucking SmackDown Live or Monday Night Raw Light 2.0. Either way, these shows are not exciting, and the more we go on and go through the summer, it's going to continue being that way, man. It's going to get worse and worse. And like I said, I can only hope that WWE hits a hard reset before they go to Fox. Because right now, nothing's making sense. Everything's all over the place. You got a 50% roster that is disgruntled, not getting TV time, wanting their way out, or hoping for their contracts to run out, looking at their clock so that they could hopefully be picked up by AEW. That's not a good thing to have, man. That's not a good feeling on said performer, and that's not a good feeling for WWE to have, knowing that half of their roster doesn't even want to be there anymore. Now you know why. The wild card rule has completely fucked everything up on WWE television, and I honestly sit here and I told you before, I lobbied for a brand split to end because they didn't go all the way with it, and if you didn't go all the way with it, then you just might as well just go back to the way things used to be. But the more I see this shit, the wild card rule, it's ruining the shows every single week, and the more it's needed. The more you are seeing that the brand split and the integrity of the brand split is needed more now than ever. I just don't think WWE realizes that right now. They're hoping that something clicks with the ratings, but nothing has and nothing will. I'll see you guys for NXT.